Hi. So today I want to start with a story I think with which I can absolutely relate to. It's about our school life, it's about our teachers, it's about teachers who have actually helped us grow as an individual, helped us shine as an individuals. And today, whatever I am, I think my teachers in my primary class and secondary class and even in colleges have played a major role to make me what I am today. For me, my teachers are my role model, but not for everybody, right? Just imagine a teacher abusing a child. I think it could be the worst thing in the world. A person whom we trust, a person whom we admire, actually giving us memory which can haunt us forever. Yes, so we have a very special guest today who has decided to share her story because it is crucial that it needs to be heard by every single one of you to prevent abuse, to prevent sexual violence that can happen to students at school level. Okay, so we have another guest with us, and now she will be sharing her story with all of you.
Okay, hello everyone. I would like to share my story, and first of all, I would like to request all the parents out there that whenever your child approaches you for something or anything, just listen to him. Like, a child is not always a liar. He is not always wanting to escape studies or something. Just listen, just pay some heed to their words. Maybe they are trying to convey something which you are not ready to understand, and always help them out because I think that parents are someone whom a child trusts the most, and when you breach their trust at this part of time, it's really not good for their mental health and their psychological health, because if I guess the parents are the one who spend the most of their time with their children. So I would just like to share this that when I was a child, one of my teachers used to call me to the coaching. I was not very good with studies. I was weak at certain subjects. So, like all other children, he used to call me to coaching. And by that time, I was having a mobile phone and everything. So he daily used to message me the timing that when the coaching is going to start and everything, all the details. So I was never suspicious about it that he would do something wrong to me, because for me he was my teacher, and it was generally where everyone was present, so I was never scared to go there. So there was this incident that it was, I guess, Friday or Saturday. So he didn't call anyone else. He just told everyone that the coaching is cancelled for that day. But he called me. So, being an innocent child, I didn't think much, and I went there. And there he molested me, and he took my phone. He deleted the chats, and after that also he used to blackmail me regarding that he'll share my photos, he'll share the video, and like I should not tell this to my parents. Okay, anyway, I had the courage to approach my parents, and I can forget maybe this event, but I can never forget the feeling what my parents made me feel. So I told my dad everything about the day, that he did this. So my father was very asked that, okay, like, why did this happen? Why did you go there? So I just tried to explain him that it's my coaching. And I just overheard he said that she's lying and she's just trying to escape studies and blame everything on his teacher. So this was very heartbreaking for me. That was the last time I talked about this event at my home. Like, I used to approach my best friend, but never my parents. Because I never got that kind of support from them. Maybe they couldn't understand my point or something like that. I don't know what their thought process was, but it's a very humble request to all the parents, all the adults, that please listen to your children. They're not always lying.
Yes. I want to ask you, what was your age then when this happened?
I was, I guess, 17 years old.
Okay. And you tried sharing it with any other person in your family, maybe your sister or any relative?
Not my sister. First of all, I approached my father and subsequently my mother. Then after their response, I never approached any relative of mine. I approached my best friend because I guess she was the one who could understand and was very well aware of the technologies and all. So I could share more things with her. And also she was aware of the kind of person that teacher was.
Do you think this incident which happened with you when you were young is still affecting you in some or the other way?
Yeah, it affected me extensively with my own relationship with my parents. Like, after that incident, whenever I used to face any problem in my life, I never used to approach my parents because I always had this in my mind that they are not going to help me out. And not only parents, the same was the case with my relationships. My relationship with my parents became bitter and very cold. And after that, when I grew out of that, all of those things, when I grew out of that, it was very difficult for me to trust people. Everyone says that they're there for me, just like my parents said, and proved many times. But still, I used to think that maybe he won't help me, he or she won't help me every way I need their help. So I always had these trust issues with me. I was never comfortable around my friends. I never wanted to go alone out with my friends, my guy friends especially.
Okay.
So I always had trust issues because of this problem, I guess.
Okay, and you ever thought of taking some therapy or psychological therapy regarding this?
Yeah, actually I took help of my psychologist because there came a point when he approached me again later in life. So I was really disturbed because of that. So I went to a psychologist and I took some help from her. After that, it was fine.
It was fine. And do you plan to, or were you thinking of taking any legal action against this person, or you think no, it's not the way?
I tried.
You tried?
I was a minor then.
Okay.
So I went to police station and it couldn't help me much because the police officer didn't pay any heed to me. And he asked for proof, something like that. So I didn't have any.
Okay. So it was basically a non-touch sexual abuse, or it was a touch sexual abuse?
Pardon?
It was a non-touch sexual abuse, or it was a touch sexual abuse?
No, it was a touch sexual abuse.
It was a touch sexual abuse. Okay. And is there any message that you want to give it to young generation or young children or parents, because it's happening in a society on daily basis? Like you just told that police officer refused you. So as per law, they cannot refuse to file a case, and they have no responsibility to decide that whether you have proof or not. It is a different stage that comes up, and it's the court's responsibility, and they are bound mandatorily to actually report these cases. So any message that you would like to give it to parents or youth, young generation, on what role they can play to prevent this?
I would like to address young generation there because they should be more aware about things. Read on internet. Internet is much more beyond Facebook and Instagram. And also talk to your parents on daily basis about everything you feel. Because maybe it was a sudden incident, so it was not believable for my parents because I was knowing that teacher since 2 years, and out of nowhere I came up with the story that he molested me or something. But if any of these things are going regularly, or if someone is saying something to you that you are not comfortable with, anything you are not comfortable with. Convey everything to your parents or your mother or someone elder to you who can understand you and help you out if you are stuck somewhere. Always try to inform someone about your whereabouts.
Yes, I think it is very, very important.
So at least when you approach them, they already know the story.
Yes, absolutely.
Because we find it very thrilling to go out with a friend, and sometimes we do like all of us do that. But there should be someone who should be aware about your whereabouts.
Yes, because in today's world you cannot trust anybody, so you should actually make your trusted people aware that where you're going and with whom.
Yeah.
Yes, that's absolutely important.
And on this part, I would also like to, parents should also be understanding that they should let their children do something and everything, and they should also initiate the talks. In fact, even periods are taboo in India, and parents don't talk about anything.
Exactly.
They just try to escape each and every conversation about that. Don't take related to this thing. So children also don't get the space to start there or initiate the conversation.
Absolutely. I think it's important that there should be spaces where children and parents can have a friendly conversation without any hesitation or getting ashamed or shamed for the same.
So the first step is from the parents, and only that trust your child. Make them trust you that you are here to help, you are here to listen, and make them comfortable enough that they can share each and everything with you. Get to know your child, spare at least half an hour or 15 minutes a day. I get it that parents are working these days, so they don't get much time with their kids.
Yes.
So they should spare at least 15-20 minutes before bedtime maybe, or maybe dinner time, just to get to know their children.
Yes, I think it is very, very crucial that parents should spend time with their own children and talk about such issues, such sensitive issues, and not just talk about sensitive issues, but talk about anything, because you will get finally related or connected to your child when you're having these conversations.
Yeah. So, if we on daily basis spend just 15 minutes, it would help a lot.
Yes, absolutely.
If the child will start opening up, and he will also get space to talk about things. If you just talk once in a blue moon, then we will not put up a sensitive conversation up.
Exactly. Daily it's necessary. Every day. Yes.
Yeah, so on everyday basis, you'll also, maybe there are certain children which are very young to understand things. Sexual abuses do happen at the age of 5 even.
Even 8 months.
So maybe at that age, children cannot understand what is happening with them. So when they'll convey their feelings to you on a daily basis, maybe you will be able to figure out that you should help them or they need help.
Absolutely. I think the things that you have told us are very, very crucial, and these are the steps that parents can initiate and even youth can initiate at their own level to prevent sexual violence that is happening to our children, our cousins, and a lot of people in our near and dear ones.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much for actually taking out time and sharing your story. I know it takes a lot of courage to come and share your story with a stranger.
It takes a lot of courage and a lot of time. You cannot share your story until you have completely healed over it.
Yes. And hats off to you that you have taken that step to inspire other people to speak up now. And I salute you.
I would really be happy if these things don't get repeated to anyone, anywhere in this world.
Yes. So, thank you so much. I hope so. I am sure hundreds of people are going to get inspired by your story, and the parents are finally going to start having these conversations with their own children. So this was Megha Bhatia signing off now, and thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So I want to thank all the listeners for listening to the stories of survivors I must tell that these are not just stories, but these are real life instances of their life, and they are shared with strangers. In fact, actually, you are not just strangers to them. In fact, you are the only people who have actually heard them without judging them, without blaming them. And I would like to thank each one of you from the bottom of my heart for being the part of our podcast. And from now onwards, let's spread this message to prevent child sexual abuse. Let's prevent sexual violence that is happening to our children. I'm Megha Bhatia, and I'm the founder of ARWA. We are a youth-led organization, and we specifically work on child sexual abuse prevention. I think these stories have touched me in a very different way and have changed my perspective towards life, towards children, and towards survivors. And I still remember while listening to these stories, there were times when I literally had goosebumps in my hand and I was numb. I don't want this to happen to any other child, so let's prevent it. It's important that we together come as individuals to raise our voice against sexual violence, which happens to our children, our cousins, our younger brothers and sisters. Let's raise our voice today. Volunteer. You can volunteer for our organization. You can post about these issues. You can spread awareness and play a crucial role in preventing sexual violence. So this was Megha Bhatia signing off. Take care and have a good day.